criminals are a superstitious, cowardly lot. My disguise must be able to strike terror into their hearts. I must be a creature of the night. I shall become.
For as far back as I can remember, I have always been a fan of the 1966 Batman TV series. I was born the week that the last episode was broadcast on ABC. The show swiftly went into syndication, and at a very young age, I was captivated by the costumes, the gadgets, and the action. I followed the characters through reruns of the Filmation series, Saturday Mornings with the Super Friends and Scooby-Doo, and the comic books and Power records that my mom would pick up at the grocery store. My grade school would have dress-up day for Halloween, and all the kids would dress up in their store-bought costumes with plastic face masks and vinyl smocks over their street clothes. And we would parade down Main Street so that all the stay-at-home moms can take photos. When I was in first grade, my mom had someone make me a Batman costume from a children's costume pattern. Because it was a homemade costume, I went to school that day in costume and wore it throughout the whole day. And ever since then, I was branded as the class geek and was picked on throughout all 12 years of school in the same town. It took years of therapy to get over it. Thank you, Marissa, Illinois, class of 1986. By the late 1970s, the Batman TV series wasn't being syndicated in my local market, and I was much more interested in Star Wars and all the merchandise that followed. But when the second wave of Batmania hit in the late 1980s, thanks to the Frank Miller book and the Tim Burton film, local stations and cable channels started running the 66 series again. And this time, I was able to record them on our VHS machine. I was still enthralled by the design and excitement of the series, but at a much older age, I was able to pick up on all the sly humor and the sexual energy between Adam West and Julie Newmar, or Yvonne Craig, or all the other female co-stars. I limped by with the VHS recordings until finally in 2014, the complete series was released on DVD. Currently, all episodes are available for streaming on Tubi, and I will often watch an episode or two before bedtime to wind down from my day and escape all the horrible things that are happening in this world. During my college years, I would often dress up as the Joker or Two-Face for nights out on Halloween weekend. But I always wished that someday I would be able to put together an authentic 1966 Adam West Batman cosplay. Recently, I was browsing through the 1966 Batman message board, and one of the members posted that he was selling a cowl and utility belt. And unlike a lot of knockoffs that you can find online, these costume pieces looked very faithful to the series, and he was offering them for a price that I felt was too good to pass up. So I bought them. I thought that it would take me a while to complete a 1966 Batman cosplay, but once you start, you can't stop. And within a few months, I was able to acquire the remaining costume pieces. The first item is the cowl. Look at this. This is absolutely beautiful. This was purchased secondhand by a gentleman who goes by the name of J-Bone. He actually hosts another YouTube channel, the Batman 1906 Costume Channel. And according to him, this was manufactured and sold by Evolution Props, based in Argentina. However, if you would go to their website and look at the cowl that they're offering, actually they're out of stock, the cowl doesn't look as good as this one right here. In fact, it very much looks like
the cowl that Mattel Toys put out a few years ago, which is okay if you're going to do Batman 66 on a budget. But the shape of the hard shell is a little off, and the way they painted the eyebrows and the details around the nose is very wonky, very thick, very almost Vulcan-like angles on the eyebrows. I actually took a look at the photos that he had on the ad, and he also had this featured on one of his videos. And this looks very much as close to the real thing as you're going to get. He actually commented that he suspects that they took the specifications off a Chuck Williams cowl. Now, Chuck Williams has a shop on Etsy. He and his wife Lynn were costumers in Hollywood, and they actually had access to a set of screen-worn costumes for Adam West and Burt Ward. And they got to study them, they got to measure them, they got to figure out what the material was and everything. And they took all their notes, and they offer costume pieces, they offer patterns that you can purchase and make your own costumes. They are the very best when it comes to your Batman costuming needs. And I suspect that if this is not a Chuck cowl, it's pretty damn close. I mean, I think it's beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. So a lot of people have to use a lot of padding in order to fill in the cowl because their heads are too small. I guess my head is just right, or maybe it's too big, I don't know. I do have a bit of padding here on top. This is actually in a plastic bag, and it helps align my eyes and the tip of my nose to where it should be as the cowl rests on my head. And I also wear a wig cap to keep the hair out of my eyes and also to keep the sweat from pouring down my face. So yeah, this is the cowl. This is the essential part, the essential starting point for a lot of people who start on their Batman costumes here. And here was a little crooked there. There it goes. See? And once you got that, it's all downhill from there. Next, we have the belt. This was also bought secondhand from J-Bone, who bought it from CY Productions. This is manufactured and sold by CY Productions, based in Billings, Montana. And the CY is Clint Young, who is a lifelong Batman fan. He had toured as a professional Batman in the 1980s with one of the original Batmobiles at car shows and at conventions. This belt is a true 1-to-1 scale replica of the original belt worn by Adam West in the TV series. He had actually made the belts that were worn by the actors who played a young Adam West and Burt Ward in that Misadventures of Adam and Burt TV movie that was shown in the 2000s. This is a standard belt, and the pouches are actually made of solid wood, covered in a yellow leather material. And the snaps actually open and close, but as you can see, they don't actually open. Well, the snaps open, but the pouches don't open here. There are actually three styles of pouches, one that have the rounded ends here, one that has the square ends, and then another one that has the square ends and the pouches are actually on the top of the pouch. That was only on the pilot, and then ever since then, he had them on the bottoms, because Adam West would usually just like pop this open, whatever he needed would fall right out into his hand, and then he can use it. I've actually added, this blue material here, this is actually an old banking bag. I worked at a bank a long time ago, and since the pouches aren't really functional, I needed to have something so I can carry my glasses and my wallet and my phone and my keys. And it's the right color blue, which blends beautifully with the cape, which you will see in a second here. So that's where all my stuff goes here. But as you can kind of see here, it's a two-piece belt that ties together in the back, and you can adjust it. Of course, I got it on like the biggest setting here because I'm kind of a big guy, and need all the room I can get. And this just barely gives me any room, actually. This is a beautiful piece of craftsmanship here. Very solid belt. And if, like me, you have a dad bod, this goes a long way to help hide the beer belly. It doesn't completely hide it, but if you wear it just right. I'm not going to fat shame anyone, especially myself here. I mean, most people you find wearing Adam West costumes are going to be my age or older. It's great that anyone who's got enough money to do this, and believe me, this is not cheap. I'm not going to tell you how much I paid for this, but even with all the discounts that I had, expect to pay at least $1,000, if not more, to put together a costume like this. Incidentally, in some of the shots from the TV show, you can actually see that instead of these wood blocks, they actually used yellow sponges for the pouches on Batman's belt. So next we have the cape. And I actually had this cape made. The pattern I got from Chuck Williams. He and Lynn offers up the caped crime fighter and boy wonder patterns. So you can sew up your own capes, your own trunks, your own Robin vest. Even if you want to do the cowl handmade, if you have a shell, they actually have the instructions on how to make the fabric for the cowl. And I got the material. This is a dark navy blue, sort of a stretch satin that I was able to get a close enough match to the cowl. If you notice on the television show, the cowl and the cape never really quite match up as far as color. So I wasn't too worried about getting an exact match, but this was a good enough match for me. I actually got this material at Jefferson Variety. They're an outlet in New Orleans. They have all the costuming and fabric materials as well as carnival supplies that you need for carnival season. And I hired a local seamstress to construct this cape, and this really helps complete the look of 1966 Batman. I had attached Velcro to the back of the cape so that it drapes over the shoulders like it does on the TV show. And I also have a Velcro on the sides that go to the shoulders of my bodysuit, which I will show you in a second here, and that help keep it in place. And it has a hook and eye on attachment here. It's very hard to get this together because you put the cowl on first and then the cape goes over the cowl, and of course without my glasses I can't really see up close, so it's always a challenge getting this cape on. And now the tights, and I actually have 3 sets of tights from Full Bodysuit, which is a shop on Amazon. They're actually based overseas, so it's going to take a few weeks to get them shipped. And I originally ordered the dark gray tights, but when they came, I found that the gray was a bit too dark for my liking here. So they actually shipped me a second pair of the light gray at no extra charge, which was rather nice of them here. Neither of these colors are really a good match for the bluish gray tights of the TV series. You can go to Williams Studios. Chuck and Lynn offer up the dance tights, the top and the bottom. They're a 2-piece set. And they have gotten as close to the original colors as you possibly can. Here you can see the Velcro that the cape attaches to help keep it in place. And so I actually have a third set here, and this is a 2-piece, and it's still kind of a dark gray, but it's a little lighter than the dark gray onesies that I have here. And these I ordered from Dick's Sporting Goods. And it took me a while to actually find, this is actually a 2-piece compression suit, and it actually took me a while to find some that didn't have like their logo emblazoned on the chest or whatever. They're not going to be exact to the TV show because you have these pieces here on the elbow and around the calf on the tights here. But this makes it easier for you to use the bathroom, as they say. My girlfriend actually insisted that I get a dance belt or a jock strap so that onlookers don't see the contours of my bat pole. If you would often see in the TV show, Adam West was not wearing a dance belt because certain scenes, especially when he was with Catwoman, he looked like he was ready to go. My girlfriend actually used to vend at comic book conventions, and I would sit with her, helping her sell her merchandise. And we would both see a lot of men wearing tights that left very little to the imagination to what they had underneath their utility belts here. So be sure to get proper support, especially if you're cosplaying at family-friendly events. The chest logos here, they're actually from Williams Studios. These are cardstock with 3M backing. You can order a set of 3 of these for like $30. And they're, of course, made from the measurements from an actual screen-worn costume. Next we have the trunks, and I actually went ahead and ordered a pair of trunks from Williams Studios because I wasn't quite sure if I was going to get the fabric I needed. It's actually a different material from the cape. So I had Lynn make me a custom pair of granny pants. Yeah, these are actually granny pants. These go over the belly and has a bit of Velcro here. These fit me perfectly. If I lose any weight, and that's a big if, then I can take them in somewhere and have them taken in. Next, the boots. Most Batman 1966 cosplayers buy their boots from Duran Shoes out in California. But those are going to run you at least $300, if not more. And they don't even have a website. You actually have to either call or write them. And I really could not justify spending that much for footwear. This is not Sex in the City here. I'm not going to be Sarah Jessica Parker spending thousands and thousands of dollars on footwear here. So there is a much more affordable pair of boots that I'm pulling up right now. And these are manufactured and sold from an outfit called EasyCosplay.com. And I believe they are based out in Japan. And with tax and shipping, these will run you about $60. And they take all your measurements, your specifications, and these are all custom made. I have not had a chance to wear these out for appearances yet, but I do understand that these boots will not hold up for too long and that these are going to need a lot of maintenance down the road. They did include the sole inserts inside here. See, these zip up on the side, just like the boots on the show, and they give me these sole inserts to go inside here to make the boots are pretty comfortable. I mean, they're not that comfortable, but they're comfortable enough. I'm going to be participating in the annual Chewbacca's Parade. Chewbacca's is an organization, a fan organization, a geek organization. They put together a parade during Carnival season. There are several different crews. Most of them are based on Star Wars because it's Chewbacca's. But there are also other crews. And I actually started up a Batman crew. It's called Crew Bat. And this is going to be the first time I'm going to be doing a second line in New Orleans. I'm really excited about it. So these are not going to be worn at that. I actually bought some boot coverings from another Etsy shop. They're spandex and they go over walking shoes. And I think they're going to work out just fine. They're not an exact match to the TV boots, but I think that's going to do the job nicely. And as far as being exact, I'm not that strict when it comes to the authenticity of my look. I think if you get the basics right, if you get the cowl right, if you get the cape right, if you get the belt right, you can get the logo right. Anything else you can play with, and I think people are going to know who you are, and they're going to think you look like authentic. Only the professionals and only people who post on the 66 message board are going to spot the differences here. But for your average layman, yeah, they're going to think it's fantastic. Finally, we have the gloves. And these gloves I ordered myself from Evolution Props. I was checking their website, and they were actually out of stock for a while. But a month or so ago, I just happened to check their site, and they were back in stock. So I quickly ordered them. I just checked their website again, and they're out of stock again. But these are pretty cool looking here. With the bat sculpt, see which is the important there. I did order a pair of blue satin wedding gloves that, and with the thought of being able to make scalps, but I just thought, I'm not a seamstress. I'm not that talented. I'm not going to be able to do anything that's going to look good. So, like I said, they happen to have them in stock, and I quickly ordered a pair, and it took a while for these to get here, but they finally got here last week. And I ordered a large, and it fits just about right here. It's not quite, this is kind of a sort of a felt material here, or sort of a velvety material. It's not quite coming up to the end of my wrist here, but in a costume, you're not really, you're not going to be actually like doing any, work. It just, it's all for show here. But no, it works out beautiful, and it just wrinkles up the way it does on the actual show.